Hey guys, welcome again to How to Paint Digital. In this topic we're doing Space Marine Garen. Basically it's a character of a game that I play called League of Legends. I'm sure probably a lot of you guys play. And I like to show my appreciation for the game and their characters and the wacky things that they do. I really like that stuff and I like the style that they have going on, so I decided to do my own skin. You can check out some of my previous skins. They're also in my videos. I did a Bigfoot Trundle, and on my DeviantArt page I also did a what is it called? Mr. Fantastic Brand, I believe the name was. But yeah, so let's get into this video. So let's start it. Alright, so when I start off, basically I started this image. I try to get like the silhouette. I found a reference image online of a Space Marine, and I like the pose that he was doing. He was kind of doing like this badass walk forward type of deal, so I wanted to capture that kind of essence and put it into Garen because he's kind of a badass too. So as you can see, I'm just starting up the silhouette, basically blacking down my lights and darks, and just trying to get a overall good silhouette going on. Right now I'm trying to mess with the gun. It's not really a gun, it's supposed to be a gun sword type of deal, but I'm just basically just trying to find a good silhouette for it. So I'm going around blacking in. Right there I'm adding some atmosphere to the back of the leg, make it a little lighter so it feels like it's going back in distance. Just kind of gives the perception of that. Kind of tricks the eye thinking that that object is further away. And basically you do that with a soft brush with set to white as the color and just like a low opacity, and just give it a swipe. So continuously going in, trying to find something that would be intriguing to the eye. The big thing that I wanted to do with this piece was keep the energy going. I felt early on this piece had a lot of energy, and one thing that's really hard to capture when you're doing a digital illustration or concept art or anything like that is to retain the amount of energy that you put into the picture. If you go in detail too much, then the picture will seem really digitalized. It doesn't really feel like you have painted it in a such way. So trying to keep energy kind of gives that painting like feel, as if you actually did it on a canvas. So that's one of the things I try to keep in mind when I did this piece. So I'm continuously going in there, adding just like the lightest lights. I felt like the legs were a little too short there. He looked kind of like stubby. So just go in there with a free transform to select the legs or the bottom of the knee and just extend it downwards. I'm still playing with the silhouette. Alright, right here, this is where I start to do some of the line work. What I do is the other layer that I just had, I turn down its opacity to about 30, make a new layer on top, and then start going in with a finer brush. Right here, I'm not really getting the right type of geometry I want. I could already tell, but this is just like the test run. I'm trying to see what kind of armor design I'm gonna have on it and how it's gonna function in this picture. I'm just going in there trying to find some good line shapes and the general posture of him, his pose. So I'm looking at that. I'm actually looking at this and I'm like, I really don't like how this is looking. It's looking too flat. So what I did, I was just deleted that layer, started a new layer on top, and this time I'm trying to add more geometry to it. So I'm going in there adding crisper lines. Just to let you guys know, I am using a tablet. I'm using an Intuos 4. and I'm actually loving this tablet. Before that, I had used almost a 10-year-old drawing tablet, Wacom Bamboo 2 or 3 before, and I had recently just got this one, and I'm loving it. It's a lot of good pressure sensitivity settings on this one, and it just feels a lot better. So if you guys can, if you going into this type of work, definitely get a drawing tablet, but the drawing tablet doesn't make the artist, you make the artist. You can only do so much with a drawing tablet. It's up to you to keep learning and, you know, try to get as far as you can. Some people actually buy tablets thinking that's going to improve their skill greatly, but it doesn't. You know, you have to learn how to use the product, and you know, you have to practice using it to get back to the drawing skill. It's completely different than drawing with a pencil and paper. So yeah, if you're really interested in this type of work, yeah, I'd suggest getting one, but you still have to practice and get better. Alright, so what I did there, I'm liking this a lot better. It looks more 3D, the shapes, and I did kind of go in there a little bit just to add in a little bit of shadow underneath his chest and right around his leg now, just to hint at where the shadows are going to be in this image. I kind of already know where I want to go with it, what's going to be in the background, but that's going to come a little bit later. So now the line art is actually looking really well. It's working with the silhouette, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this sword. I don't really like it right now. It's not working. I did pick up some reference images off the internet with Space Marines, and they have a chainsaw type of sword, and I wanted to emulate that as best as I can. So, but that's gonna be a little bit later. So, you know, I'm just using all the tools just to get the right posture right there, putting his leg more into a perspective, trying to make this feel as like he's stepping forward at you, and he's just a badass basically. Alright, it's good. I'm just adding small little values. It's always good to start small. Well, not small as in detail wise, but start small as in add in like small little highlights and shadows, just to give yourself a sense of where the lighting is gonna be. But starting small, you want to use large brushes to do it though, you know. You don't want to go into too much detail right now, just trying to find where everything is going to set in the image. Alright, now I'm starting to define the background. I know what I want. It's going to be kind of like this explosion going on behind him. One of my friends kind of said, what did he say? He said, if you're badass, you always walk away from an explosion. So I kind of took that and ran with it. So it's going to be Garen, and he's gonna be walking away from this huge explosion or some type of explosion behind him, and he's not even looking back. He's just looking forward because that's his destination. So right now I'm just going in there, blocking in simple lights and shadows, going in with black and white. I decided to go black and white with this one because I wanted to make sure the lighting was really good, and it was the lighting that I wanted. Sometimes, you know, if you start with color, it's a lot of back and forth, you know, picking the right colors just to get the right lighting. If you start black and white, you don't really have to worry about colors, just the value. So I thought this is probably the best thing for me to do at the moment. So now this is the first time I actually zoomed in the picture. Obviously I'm trying to define his face. When you look at a picture and it has a person or a human being in it, you tend to notice their face first and then their other features. So whenever you're doing an image, if you're doing a face, try to define it as best as you can. That's if you're not doing a study. because in some of my studies I don't define the face as much, just because I'm not focused on that particular thing per se. Alright, so I'm liking the general the feel of the image so far. A lot of energy going on, a lot of texture brushes, and now I'm going in to define the face a little bit more. Garen, the character from League of Legends, he's always has, most of the time has the bottom of his face covered for some reason. Well, in his normal picture it is, and then other picture it is, and I kind of wanted to keep that feel. So I'm adding some type of fabric or cloak or something that covers up his face just a little bit. And I'm just going in now. I'm defining more of the form. I'm not going into super detail just yet. Just still trying to block everything out. I'm gonna leave his eyes kind of blank for now. They don't need to have pupils in it. Well, actually, yep, I'm going in there adding just little whites, but not the actual iris of the eye. Alright, so I'm going in, blocking in some more, getting some more of this shape. And right now, if you actually take a look at it, you can already see what's going on with the picture. And you want to make sure that early on in the process, your picture is defined to a certain extent where even if somebody didn't see you do it, they can walk in and be like, oh, okay, I know what's going on right here. I see what you're doing. So I'm trying to keep that energy alive. And yep, sorry about the little black screens right there. Just some parts where it didn't record properly. Alright, so now I'm going in with a soft brush but with a darker one, and adding some more shadows, and I also went in with a light brush too, a soft one with a white color, and kind of gave it soft edges on its highlights. I'm just going back and forth, just trying to define the lighting as best as I can. That's one of the things that make or break a picture, is the lighting too. If you have good lighting, your picture is gonna seem a lot more realistic than to one that doesn't have really good lighting. It's just not gonna feel as realistic. Alright, so I'm going in there with the hair. Another thing also with this picture, it's a lot of experimentation going on here for myself too. I didn't really start this the normal way that I normally start stuff. I started with mostly a silhouette first, and then went into line drawing. I'm trying to get into that habit a lot more often. It seems to be working, and I get better results for it. So, and also in this one, it was a lot of brush exploration, as you can see throughout the this video and the next one, that I'm going to be making a lot of brushes, or just altering a lot of the brushes that are preset in Photoshop. It's really good to do that. You get some really interesting effects. So whenever you can, just experiment. There you go, using the liquify tool just to fix his stance a little bit. It seemed kind of weird and awkward. So now I flip the canvas, messing with the liquify again, seeing a little bit of problems from this side. And just going back in it, flipping canvas. Remember to do it. It's always good, it's always helpful. You miss a lot of things staring at an image for a long time, so if you flip it, makes the image, it gives your eyes a fresh look at the image, and you can see your mistakes or what you haven't picked up on before. So I'm going in there and defining some more. His back leg doesn't really need to be as defined as his front leg, just because it's further away from the eye. Your eye likes that kind of stuff though. It'll automatically fill in the gaps, so if his front leg is defined and his back leg isn't defined, it will kind of fill in the gap and be like, okay, this leg is as defined as the one that's in front, if the silhouette is identical. just add in any small like highlights and some more definition. There's a lot of back and forth in this image, and just in any image general. You want to make sure that it works at a big level, and then go in for the smaller details. Alright, so now I'm going back into the face. I decided to change it up a little bit and have like his the fabric coming out of his armor to go over his nose a bit. Maybe it's like capturing, like saving his it's just like going over his nose, and it's maybe the atmosphere isn't as good on this planet, and it kind of probably pumps air into his nose or something like that. So now I'm just working with this sword, and I'm still not feeling the sword at all. It just does not look right. It just looks too small, and Garen normally has like a big sword, and it's just not working for me. So I found this image online, and I just copied it, and I'm gonna put it inside my image and try to like maybe get like an interesting texture out of it, maybe something that looks half as good, or just trying to get something out of it. I'm really just exploring right here, because I have no idea where I want to go with this sword. So trying to see how this would fit in, or if at all, if it will fit in, so painting over it, trying to see if I like it or not. Right here I decided to extend the canvas a bit, because I want the sword to be huge, and I want it to kind of be a focal point too. So what I'm doing there is I extend the canvas, and I'm just adding in some more of the light. Yeah, I already know this sword's gonna be a lot bigger. So now right here I decided, like, since he's a space marine, maybe it's cool to have like a moon in the background. So what I did was use the shape selection tool, made a circle, colored in white, and just erased the parts that I didn't need, and added some cool texture brush, basically the chalk brush on top of it. So it kind of gives it that cool effect. And yeah, this video has come to an end. It was good. Actually, it was great. I had really a lot of fun making this, and be on the lookout for part 2 and 3 possibly. Alright, again, you can see the high-res image on my blog at sidemessiaharts.tumblr.com, and like this video if it helps you out anyway, and I'll be making some more. See you guys.